This is awesome. What a great start. There we go. Goodness me. Wakey, wakey. If anybody's here, let me know that you're here. Why is my intro not playing? I guess that is not a good thing. That is not the way we want to start the stream at all. ¿Por qué no? Isn't it amazing how these things happen? You do a test run and everything is coolio. And when it is showtime, things just do not go right. A ver. Maybe it was waiting too long. If this does not work, then we are going to have a problem with the entire patio patio tour. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, estoy aquí, Orchid Ninja Bruce-san. I am having technical issues already. Why aren't you playing? Okay, we're gonna give this one more try. I don't think it's like anybody has not seen my intro. As long as you can hear me, that would be awesome. If you can hear me, bienvenido a España. And I hope the sound is okay. I can see my bubble moving. So, a ver, let's give this another go. Let's see if we can find that again. And let's just see, maybe we'll just skip the intro and hope that this works. Because if not, I'm going to fire up my editing software, and then that's how we're going to do it. Ah! Are you going to play? You're playing. Okay, goody. Okay, goody. At least we can put that on pause. And I'm going to try and find the chat. Good evening. Good evening, Fernanda. It's good to see you. You can't see me, Bruce. I'm sorry. I don't do my face in public. Julian, ça va? Bonsoir. One way I remember now is to try and remember my French when I see you. I have to make that mental connection. Thank you so much for being here. And anybody who's too shy to chat, it is so nice that you're here as well. And I keep forgetting when we're out on the patio proper that people do watch this back on replay. So I want to welcome you if you're watching this on replay. I do not have music in the background because although the music would be artificial intelligence generated, YouTube, for some reason, picks up on certain riffs and melody combinations that they ding some areas and sections as copyright. So that is a nuisance. That is why there will be absolutely no music. And maybe I'll give it a little bit of. So how is everybody doing? Stan is in his coat. This is very early in the morning. I wanted to show you what it's like morning, midday, evening. So I figured I was going to take some footage and just run that by you, and we'll do this together. So it's going to be a little bit, oh wait, what I can do, hang on a second, I'll find you here. There we go. And I'm going to find you here. So this is my east side for everybody that is new to the patio. This is my east side where the highlight orchids live, the ones that, even though it gets really, really hot, when there's a lot of sun, which is usually the case on my Ancelia africanas and my Catasetinae, they usually don't burn, but on that Scorchio day, some of my Ancelias up here did get hit. And we're going to see something as well, because I wanted to show you the blooms of my first time bloomer a little bit up. Oh, please, do me a favor, go back. I wanted to show you the blooms of my first time bloomer. Sorry about that. I'm just not going to touch it for now. The OG in my collection to the left, even though the spike got scorched as well, there are some beautiful blooms there. They are bright yellow. They are not fragrant to my nose, not like the other ones where there is an obvious fragrance. And if I dare touch my... Are you serious? Okay, we're going to the south side. Oh, I know what I did. Okay, you see, this has been edited. I just want to show you the south side so you know what that looks like in the morning. I've had a really busy day. I now have to remember what I did here. Anyway, so early in the morning, you can see that my umbrella in the deep south is tilted at such an angle that my orchids don't burn there, because still the angle of the sun hits the angraecums there early in the morning. Soon the sun will be already lower in the sky, that I don't have to keep jostling this umbrella around, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Hello, Nina, Sarah, it's good to see you. Very, very kind of you to join us. Mr. Kyle's Orchids, hey, it's good to see you. Whenever you have time, remember the offer stands. Live together with you at some point would be amazing. No pressure, just a thought, you know, something like ¿por qué no? So yeah, anyway, one day coming soon, this scooting around of the umbrella is going to be history. So that's a little overview. Oh yes, and I also did the hedge. And here's the burn unit. East side with my Dendrobium nobilis. Still hasn't changed, not much has changed. I haven't had any opportunity to groom them. I'm still waiting for them to dry out. I wish I'd had that breeze on that day, but it wasn't there. But anyway, so here's my burn unit. And I've also got my Gloriosa lilies, which were neglected last winter. At least I've got some tubers coming back. That was a great thing. Hello, baby, welcome. Good morning to you, or mid-morning, I think. It's very sweet of you to be here. Excuse me. By the way, yes, my house guest is here, and if he comes up and down the stairs, the dogs will be saying hi. They will also be saying hi on the patio. So anyway, I haven't done much. Fertilizing continues. Here's more of my burn unit, just so that you can see that what I said in my video, I keep my word. I don't touch them. Not even my cymbidium. Maybe I should. Oh my goodness. And the patio itself is a big mess because I have stopped pouring water over it like I used to. So even though I sweep it every 2 weeks with everything that's flying around in the air, it all just accumulates. And then, well, full transparency, I've got other things to do, better things to do than sweep the entire patio on days where I'm enjoying fussing with my orchids, filming, and spending time with you. Here's an update on my Feierstankenvilliers. Fran Rix, welcome, bienvenido a España. It is 10 p.m. for anybody here that thinks that I am now on the patio. No, I've got a 34-minute footage thing that I've compiled of all the things I've wanted to show you. I'm sitting in the dark at my desk. My intro didn't start, so I'm lucky and happy that this thing is actually up and running. We got the cyber monkeys spinning their wheels in the software. Denise, good evening. Good evening. I hope you had a wonderful Saturday as well. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, you can see that the growths on the Phaeus are progressing, and I haven't burnt the pseudobulbs that are left yet, and I don't intend to, but you never know. I always say I'll do better next time, and then boom, I don't. Okay, I wanted to show you my Coelogyne pandorata, quick update on her, because we had a new growth coming when I divided her. The other piece, by the way, I didn't take a picture, but the other piece has started a new growth. Miracle, it's awesome. But here's what I wanted to show you on Coelogyne. Oh, what is this, Coelogyne? Yeah, I was typing really quickly. This is hot off the download. Even though it was all worked on earlier today, I only just downloaded it and obviously, you can see Coelogyne. There shouldn't be a Lu in Coelogyne, okay? Quit, take away an O. How about that? There shouldn't be a Lu. Anyway, so this growth is progressing beautifully. It was there when we divided the orchid. The other growth in the background here, you can see it's getting its pseudobulb all nice and plump. But what I wanted to show you was that I was curious to see if the new growth would want to bloom, because Coelogynes, well, in my climate anyway, usually would do so April into May. And of course, they produce their spikes before the actual growth starts to mature, etc. And I was going to be very interested to see, first of all, yes, I'm really happy that this growth is developing. And I was so surprised to see a spike. But being that it's too warm and there's no humidity, the orchid itself, plenty of light now, but the orchid itself doesn't actually bloom if it is not in the right season. So note to self, I was excited. I was going to say we're going to have Coelogyne blooms at the end of July, but no. And this is not because of the heat, because this, well, heat, yes, but she was not burnt by the sun because I move her as one of the first priorities, because usually the sun hits where she sits first. So she's always the first one on my mind when I start the shade shuffle. So that was pretty interesting, because I was thinking, well, if we're going to get a bloom, that is going to be awesome. Anyway, we're back to early morning. And yes, Stan is under the covers, because when I unveil him, you will see that he's not faring very, very well. I'm going to be probably having a mass defoliation, but I've got plenty of new growths that are coming through. This is what I wanted to touch upon when I started. Anyway, see those blooms? I think they're gorgeous, but I have to tell you, I am really pleased that we actually have other Ancelias that are more vibrant. The blooms aren't as star-shaped, they're more chubby, and there's so much more contrast. And this is the OG one that I had, and as I was filming this footage, I noticed this new growth, it got singed. So I've lost one of maybe 7, 8. It's not rot. That's why I keep pushing and pulling on it. I was going to see if I could pop it off. No, it got burnt because of, you know, it's like exposed right at the front. Anyway, can we, excuse me. You just need to scooch back just a little bit. Anyway, this orchid needs a repot. I don't like this at all. It's just going to be an up pot, but for future reference. Now, where's my little budgie? We're still there. This is not a repeat. Oh, where are you? Where is he? Where is he? This is so early in the morning. I had just opened the terrace door, and when I do that, the wild birds are already waiting for me. There he is. Can you see him on the table right there? Sorry about the dogs barking. Sorry. I hope that's not too irritating. See him there, isn't he cute? So that's the male. He comes in the minute I open either the dining room area door or the front terrace door by my living room. He is either in the rafters waiting, in the blooming alley waiting. Here I was outside and I caught him on camera. He's waiting to come in to see if there's anything he can steal from Ciliano in the way of goodies. So I thought that was cute because I keep talking about them. We hardly see them, but isn't he darling? They make such a mess. And off he goes into the living room. Oh, gosh. All right. So I just want to show you my Neophonetia. You could see that she also got sunburned. Sorry, Vanda falcata. And she's blooming out now. But I just wanted to take her out of the blooming alley. She got singed. These are the results of several days later, when you can see damage forming that you didn't think was going to happen. So I didn't recognize that, but she's fine. She's not a goner. There's just a few, sad to say, newer leaves that got burnt. Yes. Orchid Ninja Bruce. You're my OG, sir. OG on the links. Definitely. Right. And can't be in this area, excuse you, what's going on? Okay, can't be in this area without a saludos from cousin It. I wanted to show him to you because you could see all the tips here. This is cold damage. And then eventually, now 10 days later approximately, some of the pseudobulbs down in this area here underneath the sunglasses, they got singed. But so far, I'm managing to keep the new growths with the new leaves safe so far. So all the burnt tips, that's the cold damage. That's not from the sunburn. But he got hit with some pseudobulbs. I got to him too late. Hello. What's going on? Why is my nightbot? No. Excuse me. Nope. Hang on a second. Oh. Sorry, my nightbot is acting up. Hello, Bet. Orchid Ninja Bet Davis, I am so sorry. I do not know what this guy is doing and why he deleted. He just said stop spamming emojis. That is not correct. It's just that sometimes YouTube will take emojis and take them as spam because of a lot of the bot, let's say the bot links that come in. That's why I put it on subscriber modes only. Many of the bot links that come in that are naughty bot links, the bad ones, the adult entertainment ones, they come in with a lot of emojis and YouTube takes them out. So I haven't set my nightbot properly. I'm sorry, I will fix that for the next one. Bet Davis, son, please come back, say hi, and limit emojis maybe to 1 or 2. And I will fix that for next time. I've had some messages deleted in the past. Hi. Yeah, I ignore them as well. The reason for the subscriber only mode is to make sure that they do not come into the chat, but YouTube has some things that go on, and that's why I've activated a nightbot to watch out for things like that as well, because everything I can do to secure my channel and not worry about something happening to a live stream that is not technical and has only to do with YouTube, I'm really freaked out about. Call me paranoid, you would be right. So sorry about that, Betty. Sorry, Bet. Apologies. I didn't look at him. I didn't check Nightbot properly. Okay, now, to Stan the Man. All right, this is what I do in the morning. No, at 1 p.m., sorry. At 1 p.m., the sun has moved past this point, and you see what he looks like, okay? This is his watering. And I touch him because he looks green and well damp, but he's bone dry. It's rock hard. And like anybody that likes to keep a tidy space, I fold the towel. Anyway, he looks really bad, to the point that I'm now protecting him as well once I've watered him, and I put the towel back on just to somehow alleviate that he doesn't struggle so much. But because we haven't had any blooms for him for the stream on time, I've got 2 spikes that are just showing buds. I thought they would open this morning. I decided to add a few blooms in that maybe you haven't seen on the community posts, but these are the recent spikes that bloomed out earlier. You can see I've got a gorgeous spike coming here with the buds in there, and then more buds all the way down here. But I put this on real-time footage because so you can see what I do when I missed him. And the whole footage of this actually is a 5.5 minute sequence. I didn't speed it up. I didn't edit it. I didn't shorten it. I didn't do anything like that. And I start with the bottom of the basket because if I start with the top, I would have only water pouring over him like a rock, because that is how hard he is when I unveil him, so to speak. And that is him going to bed at night damp. Even so, he wakes up in the morning and he's rock hard. So this was gorgeous. This was the 2 blooms. Whoops, both spikes open. I love this picture so much because with many times with Stan, you have to do some kind of gymnastics with the body to get at the blooms, to image them, to get the right angles. And with these two spikes opening with 4 blooms each, I didn't have to worry about that. I just pointed the camera and this is for me, the money shot if it wasn't for the leaves being so bad. Diamond Cutter, hello, it's good to see you, lady. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the patio where we talk orchids and look at the blooms and look at disasters. It's so sweet of you to drop in. Thank you so much. So anyway, yeah, I love this picture so much because of course we're still waiting for the other buds down there to open, and then it's going to be tough. You can see I'm holding on to the basket as I missed, and I won't have that in your face display again so quickly, but he takes 5 minutes. I just do the outer perimeter and then I go in on the top and then I just hold the nozzle, and because I've got so many new growths coming everywhere now, it's not I can mist freely. It's all very targeted because I do not want to lose any new growths, even though in this shot you can already see here underneath all these, oh, hello. Can we do that again? You can see underneath all these new growths here that are kind of kvetched. Oh boy. Why, I've already lost one growth, that reminds me. Why does this orchid want to grow upwards when everybody else, you know, it's normal she grows down towards the light? Some of these growths are so banged up against the basket that bit by bit, every day of the growth progression, I've been very gently moving them towards the outside. Otherwise, I would have lost more. On the side of the basket, I actually have another growth. I know I've lost it because it's already gone pale. I didn't see it for one. It didn't come out spiky because that silly thing was growing back and in on itself as well. So, it's so annoying. Why does it do that? You see, this one is coming out beautifully as it should, but in here somewhere, there's a big fat nodule. It's a goner, but anyway, you know, last year I got 42 new growths on this orchid itself. If I only get 25 this year, I'll be fine. But you see, I'm still watering. That's a 1.5 liters in there, and today he got calcium nitrate. And then I put the towel back on him during the day. I feel so bad that he is struggling so much. But the thing is, how much water do I put on him? It's not going to help. He's so far away from where the humidity is now central to the basket. All the leaves that are on the outer side, they are really struggling. So I put the towel around him now during the day as well, just to somehow maybe help along. It's not the new growths I'm concerned about. It's the rest of the orchid. But yeah, what a shame. And more. I'm just giving him the full Monty. So I think we get the gist of this. Let me make sure that I don't jump us up to ahead. That's fast forward. So let me do it this way. All these new growths in there, I have to be really careful. Oh, and this is where I just hold the nozzle straight up into the top, and I hold it in there for so long until I see the basket dripping from the center, not from the sides, but actually from where I'm putting the nozzle, that it's actually dripping, like right here. This is what I need to see. And then we're kind of done and the sprayer is empty. Oh, poor little man. I feel so bad for this orchid. Oh, he looked so lush at the beginning of the season. But anyway, alrighty. Time to lift the curtain at the same time. Where am I? Am I doing it here? Am I doing it in the next one? Anita Brown, it's good to see you. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming in to say hi. I appreciate that so much. So with the east side rack as well, it has to be behind a white curtain. Otherwise, all these orchids would be oregano, dried oregano, crispy. So on this shelf, there's a few things I want to show you, because maybe you can see the little color in the back. My Brassicatlia amethyst has opened her blooms. Started with 1 bloom 2 days ago. Now she's got 2, and we'll have a look at her. But what is the next thing? I think it's Cattleya Dinard Blue Heaven I want to show you. That's this big monster right here. But of course, okay. Woo, Lecker, that's a project. Oh, I'm repotting. I'm in a repot sesh. I don't want to move and take everything back into the kitchen like I normally do. This is a repotting central at the moment. I've got to hustle. Oh, boing. This was 2 days ago. Oh, isn't that pretty? This is so amazing. And this is today. And I've got another lead. For the first time this year for us, she's going to bloom on her second lead, which is now right here. And you can see the buds poking out over there. I haven't moved her to the blooming alley yet, so there's going to be a little bit of a shuffle. I didn't want to make it too tight because we're going to have some footage from the blooming alley. Oh, she's so pretty. I'm so excited. And I raised the exposure on this image a little bit because it was overcast when I was taking this footage, and I thought everything looks a bit dark. Ah, yes. Alors. Cattleya Dinard Blue Heaven. I think the sheath is bulging up. Hey, Debbie. It's good to see you. Hello. Welcome. Ah, it's so nice. Fins and flowers. Let me check and see if you've changed your pic. Nope, you haven't yet. Okay. So, Cattleya Dinard Blue Heaven, we've got some chubbiness in the sheath, which would be awesome if they bloom. I'm not entirely sure, but what I want to show here is look at this. This is the first time. Careful with that nozzle where you put it. I've got 2 new growths coming. Remember the repot last year? If you didn't, it's evaporative cooling video where I repot her and I talk about evaporative cooling. I took out some of the back bulbs, which they themselves didn't produce anything. I had her back here for a while, but this is a new lead in the back. So happy days. We put her in the middle of the pot just to make sure that when we come to this stage, if we were going to come to this stage, we've got 2 new growths. She is growing roots like cuckoos now as well. Very excited. She looks a little bit silly in her oversized pot. I was lamenting that last year when I saw her. I like, ugh, the proportion is completely off, but the space is there for what's going to happen next, as is this quick update, the gift from Fernanda Nacimento Orchids and Succulents, my Myrmeco Cattleya. This is the growth we were talking about in that repot video right here. Gorgeous, love it. So I had to move her up onto this shelf, and in the video I said I had a second lead. That's all. It hasn't done anything. It hasn't done anything, but it's still there. So even doing nothing, I always say it's a good thing. At least it hasn't rotted out, right? So desafortunadamente, I was thinking, come on, we can do this. Well, no, we did not. So it's still there, biding its time. I hope it doesn't dry out. Now, this one we haven't seen for a very long time, but I've put it in here because she hasn't bloomed for us yet, but she's doing exceptionally well. Look at these gorgeous new growths right here. Nice size jump. I'm really enjoying all the beautiful color contrast on the leaves with the burgundy. Now, if we had blooms, we would be seeing nice spotted white blooms as well. Cattleya shape, a little bit more compact, but we would be seeing that burgundy spotting in the blooms. We don't have blooms, but I love leaves like this anyway. It reminds me of my Siamese doll Kiwi when she has all these little freckles on her leaves. I love that. Anyway, this orchid was gifted to me by Anonymous, and I have not heard from Anonymous for a long time. So, darling Anonymous, if you ever see this, please just a little wave to the emails I've sent, okay? Let me know you are okay. Meanwhile, here is the direct Cosmos that you gave me, and she is still with us, and she's doing great. Orchid Ninja Bob-san, hello! It is good to see you. Let me see what you've got to say. A ver. Finished for the day. You found me. You found us. This is wonderful. So nice. Ah, so excited to see you. Thank you so much for joining us for a moment, or for the rest of the stream if you have time. Smiles and cartwheels around the patio, or the orchid holding space, whatever. Patio. It's summer. We're in the patio. I love this color. Okay, Rhincolalia Pastoral Innocence for the first time, 2 new growths. Clearly needs a repot. I'm sure there's issues in that pot because the pseudobulbs are shriveling to a point I am not comfortable with. And I'm waiting for this new growth to show me something that resembles root nubbins, and she's coming out of that pot. We need to assess this orchid. Quick update on my Rhincolalia cattleya golf green hair pig. The rhizome burying thing that I did on the live stream when we repotted her, well, looky here. Even with leca, in a dry climate, mind, but look at how that growth is pushing itself out and making itself known to us. This is awesome. In the back, I don't think I took a picture of that, but in the back, I can see also more root growth coming. The back being right here. If we're lucky, we may get a second lead. There is an eye that is sus to me in a good way. This is Cattleya Durigan Crucero do Sul. Also, can't show you flowers, but what I can show you is another gorgeous growth that does this wonderful color as well, the pink. I'm surprised this even showed up on camera. I just looked at my camera when I was taking the picture. I thought, this is far too dark, but hello, here we are. Look at that. Oh, I love this so much when I see growths doing that, and they look so different when they're young and fresh and new. We may get blooms from her. Last year when she bloomed, she tried. I wasn't happy with the blooming, and I took them off and gave her a rest. So she actually has 2 new growths this year. But of course, the one new growth that you see, Aki, right here, this one, cruising down there, that one didn't bloom for us because the growth matured during a time of year where this orchid doesn't get enough light. But very excited. She's doing well. I would like to up-pot her, but with everything I've got going on, when it comes to those that really, really need it, not necessary. She's not urgently on the docket. Okay, Cattleya iricolor, first time bloomer this year. Very happy to see the development of this orchid. Can you see what I see? Oh my goodness, can you see what I see? Not just the new growth on the left, the bigger one, but this one is pushing a second new growth. This is insanity. She's only just blooming size this year. But you know what? I may have to, when I do a video about her and her blooms and this and that, I will be updating some information about her, because I do have an iricolor video out when I was doing a care collab. And I said that a new growth takes 12 months to mature. And well, it would appear when she's little. Now it's like, what is going on? So this, I'm so happy. So we're giving her lots of calcium nitrate. I'm loving it. Can you imagine if both of those bloom for us next year? Okay, from the goodies to the anybody in the chat, I'm going to have to cough. So I'm going to just go on mute. Anybody in the chat have orchids that you want to have, you want to save, you've been trying, and you eventually say, I have had enough. I'm done with you. We're not getting anywhere. And then you want to toss them even if they're green. Sorry, muted too soon. Let me know. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that break, but when I can help it, I don't want to be coughing in your ear. All righty. I don't see any reply. Anyway, so I am going to just say I am fed up with this Epidendrum embraei crossed with Capricornum. So fed up. I got it to bloom. It came in that dubious order that I keep talking about from 2018. I've got it to bloom. But it is a pain in my derriere that this orchid, of course, I don't have enough humidity in them. I mean, they like heat. I've got that. Thank you, baby. I have got the heat. And now it wants to push out 3 new growths. And it's been teasing me with a pathetic, like this growth back here was doing really well when the temperatures were somewhat ideal. And then the dry air came, and you can see every single leaf is scorched from dry air, not sun. They're tucked back, they're behind a curtain. I am so sick of these. I'm so sick of them. But I have a problem with something that is green. Clearly, she's trying again. And I'm like, well, you know, she's not in my way during the winter. She's not a big orchid to shuffle around and take her into the light outside, blah, blah. And I've kept these old canes. This is not recent. I've kept them in here because I keep wanting to do a video about these guys and how frustrating they are for me. And I've kept the canes because I want to show how the canes from years gone by have deteriorated. It's just a show and tell, nothing, you know. I am so sick of it. We did a repot. The roots are fine. Yes, I have salt buildup, but there are no roots at the surfaces, so I'm not fussed with that. Oh, here we go. I'm getting some confirmation. But this frustrates me. Yes, I want pretty orchids, but I don't want to give up on an orchid that is also trying. But my goodness, it's been 2018. And the blooms aren't something where I'm going to go, I need this orchid because the blooms are so sensational. No, they're tiny, they're cute, they're orange, peachy. You know, they've got this beautiful little apricot color and they last forever. Darling, love them. But so fed up. And it doesn't stop here because the next one, and these two are like a pair, bane in my existence pair. There we go. Am I going to show the whole thing or what am I going to show? This is my, let's go back to the name so that, because it's long, so that when I say it, it's not as if, there we go, the pseudoepidendrum. Okay, now that's the one on the left, right here. Same thing with the leaves. The second new growth that I finally have that is looking fantastic. What a growth. I'm serious. What a growth, okay? The last 2 weeks, look at the leaves. Same thing as with its compadre next to it. And then you look at the growth point. Oh, that was good timing. Well done, you. Look at the growth point. It happens every single time. And it is getting so much calcium, lots of flushing, and I've focused on calcium, and it shows in the next growth. But when the temperatures rise a teeny tiny bit and the dry air comes, this is what I get. Year in, year out. But and then, you know, spotting, you name it. And I'm loving this growth. I'm so sick of them. Oh, you're looking at one now, are you, baby? Oh, no. Send me an email with the pics. Denise. She has suspicious yellow spotting on 3 leaves. And please, before you toss her, if you want, look, I'm not trying to interfere, but if you want, take some pictures, send them to me, and let's have a look, okay? Could be just recovered cold damage from winter. Her new leaf is clean. Okay, there you go. That's all possible. If you want to have a second opinion, please feel free to send me a pic, okay? Or 2. So yeah, these are 2 orchids that I am so fed up with. But they always give me that feeling, I can do this, we can do this. Trichopelia suavis? Remember we talked about Trichopelia? And yours bloomed. You're welcome, Denise, anytime. It's so frustrating. I'm sorry, Julian, that you've got that going on. If they don't like your zip code, give them another one. That's right. As soon as it dumps its growth. Meh. Oh, anyway, scusi for the dusty leaves. Renanthera monachica. This is one I'm not going to toss, even though I don't get her to bloom anymore because of my winter conditions, but she's growing beautifully. I just wanted to brag a little bit about this awesome new root growth right here. And this one is behaving and is going straight down. Thank you. Just like the grower ordered. And this one took a little bit of a while and it's going in as well. So I'm hoping it's not going to come out through the orchid top. But I'm really liking that this orchid is still around. because we are working and growing towards better times, and hopefully we'll see her blooms again. And her compadre, the Renanthera caloptera, that I also got from Anonymous, knock knock, hint hint, Anonymous. Look at the root growth on this one, all the way around, going down, going in. And I'm keeping the maidenhair fern. I'm not weeding until probably September, October when they come inside. I lost a leaf, but this is wonderful. This root tip, it's covered right here by the maidenhair fern. This one, I'm misting the lava rock here. It looks like it's not going to proceed, but still, such a nice visual. I so enjoy these two. And of course, I showed you in an update the new leaf, and it's just the size jump of the width of the leaves. Everything has just gone really well. Now, I do have a video in store about the TNC mycohydro, but it takes a long time for orchids to respond. But this Cattleya moonbells, this seedling was a candidate. All I want to do here is also show you this beautiful new growth, even though I can't brag about getting more roots. But these products take a long time to manifest themselves, and if there is a benefit, it takes a while for it to show on the orchid. But I'm enjoying the look of this new growth. It is not wet from my doing. It is wet because of gorgeous happy sap, which makes me happy because that means the roots in the pot are functioning. So just wanted to show that. And then something that we already can see in the background of it. Yep. Look at this. We did a repot session with my Dimorphorus lowii. Look at them roots. Now, I lost, that's not my stomach. That is King and Baloo having a little bit of a, you know, who gets to be closest to my feet session. Neither one, if you continue to behave like that. Anyway, this one was a root tip. Didn't make it, didn't manage to pull it through. But look at all these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got one more new root to grow despite losing one root tip. I love it. I love it. We can't go on to get with it. No, we cannot. Absolutely not. You're absolutely right. And I love that song, by the way. Especially with, oh, and I forget the name now. Ah, not Elvis Presley, but it Presley, but it was another band. I forget their name now. Fantastic cover of that song. So anyway, totally happy with Dimorphorus lowii. Let's move on. Who's next? Dendrobium aphyllum. My monster mount is going to come into view in a video when I talk about Keikis. Yes, I'm waiting for that video to be able to put that out, because while I pin the class of 2024 Keikis onto this mount, I will be talking about all the Keikis things and all the comments that you left under a community post. I have not forgotten. It is in the works, but you know, I gotta wait. I gotta make a video look interesting and then add information that sounds interesting and answers questions, hopefully. So that is what the delay is all about. But this is looking great. Until class of 2023 are up here from 2019. So we're working on a curtain here, and the first keiki on the keikis is right here. Okay, so this is my second misting of the day, and this is just plain RO water after the early morning fertilizing session, and everybody got calcium nitrate today. And this is the most fun part of growing orchids in the summer. How much water do you need? Oh, on the leaves too? Oh, no sun? Let's go. I love it. I love it. Okay, here's mother plant. Same thing. You'll see I will be panning down to all the keikis that are dangling there, because we have things to talk about with these keikis. And this is so much fun as well. This is her flush, plain RO water. And even though it was overcast, it's like, la, 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 how much? Awesome. Anyway, so I go around the other side as well. But what I want to show you is all of these guys down here. Look at their progress. And this is what we need to talk about, is also how to cultivate keikis while they're still on the mother plant, timing to take them off, etc., etc. I have other plans with some of these keikis for this season, moving into next season. Want to talk about all of that, but this is how I miss them. At least twice a day when it's sunny. Today was overcast. I had a humidity of 82%. Yay! So they only got misted and drenched once. But this is so much fun, especially when a pup lies on the other side and it's like, A quick update on my Dendrobium Saraula. Sorry for the jiggling of the camera there. She's in bloom. Not for long, but I wanted to show her to you. So she's getting misted as well. But I wanted to show you the two new growths here that I'm really being careful of, making sure they come through because they're at the base. We need the roots. She's not very happy in the root growing front, so every single root counts. But it's nice to see her in bloom. And I think I took a picture, I put it in here, which was the title, the thumbnail for this video, this live stream video. But yeah, she's getting her second. Ah, yes, goodness me, I was touching the leaves because you can see all the yellowing on the leaves. Yeah, that is also from the dry air. And while she's in bloom, I can't really mist her down to keep the leaves from suffering. You see the same similar effects like my Stanhopea, but this is from the dry air. It's just when I water her, the moment you put water on the lip, it washes out like watercolor painting like that. So I wanted to enjoy them a little bit longer, but they're coming off tomorrow now that we've seen them. And I love this shot, but you can see here how there's water from the Keikis above when they drips on her. These are fresh blooms and they will wash out very quickly. And they finally made a cameo. You're done. Wait. Whoop. Hold it. Ho. Look who's here to the left. Alrighty. Now you can see how humid it is today. You can actually see the camera picking up on that. It looks all gray and washed out. Anyway, young Dendrobium Victoria. Oh my goodness. That is fantastic. This is excellent news. Congratulations. More cartwheels around the patio. This is great. I'm very, very happy to hear that. Awesome sauce. Fantastic. I have not seen Orchid Ninja Betsun since her other comment about the emojis and Nightbot doing away with her first comment. So I hope Orchid Ninja Bevsun is still around and not in any way, shape, or form offended. I am so sorry about that. Orchid Ninja Kevin, welcome. You made it. I am so happy to see you. More cartwheels. And Claudia, and maybe I'm getting, Claudia. I'm just going to go with Claudia because if I say Claudia Maria, if I say something else, I may get it wrong. Yes, and hello from London. It's good. Thank you so much that you're here on a Saturday evening. It's much appreciated. Thank you. So let's look at left. Object of desire. Coelogyne parkinsoniana. You guys, I snapped a leaf. One of the newer leaves from last year, and she's very cumbersome to move around to get to flush. But she, on 2 leads, is blooming for the first time on those 2 leads. So I have 3 leads now, and they are all blooming size. So I took some stills, and well, just wanted to show you my beautiful Coelogyne parkinsoniana, which I am growing in honor of my dad because he had Parkinson's. Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Betsun. Okay. Okay, I'm happy to see you. I felt so bad. I didn't know that Nightbot would do what they did. Okay, thank you. I may just deactivate that. I cannot have it because I'm an emoji girl. I love throwing emojis in all the time. I absolutely love it. And I love the color in the chat. So thank you very much, Bet, just for typing in. I was kind of a little bit worried there. You know, it's hard to get good staff these days to do things behind the scenes for me. You know what I mean? Sorry. Oh gosh, yes, so I'm really excited about this. This is the most abundant blooming I have had And she lives on the top shelf of the blooming alley where we will go to, but I had to move her because, you know, danger, elbow danger and all that business. So I brought her here so that you could see her in all her beautiful glory. And we did a massive repot session on her last year. So I am absolutely thrilled that she has come back like this. Again, you see that? Okay, I can view the deleted message, but can I approve it? There, you see, oh, okay, you see, this is what's going on. Bet-san said, no problemo. She gave me an orchid, she gave me a pink heart, a star, a parrot, and a leaf. A twig, leaf, green leaf. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm gonna train my background staff better. Okay, what else did we get? A ver, would you go away? Sorry, I have to see this. Do you mind? All right, this is what is annoying me, and I'm not, I know, right? This is really annoying me. Like I said, I needed some background help while I'm working this, like these live streams, and yeah, hard to get staff. I will work with him. All righty. So anyway, just want to go back with this. So happy, and I'm just going to let it roll because while I was doing this, isn't that pretty? These two. Oh, wait, we got to go back because Baloo never really stayed. These two, he was at my feet. Baloo finally stood still. And look at here, we got a photobomb bottom right. He cannot just let Baloo have a little moment in the sun, attention-wise. Isn't that so cute? This is what I look at. Either that or what's coming up next. So I just thought an orchid palette cleanser. Here we go. And this is him. I'm like, my tripod is, oh yeah, and don't say a word. Oh, why? Wait. What? Why? Oh, you see all those smiley faces from Debbie. Oh no, it's gone. There's no warning, Debbie. You've done nothing wrong, okay? But this is what happens when you can't pay, when you get cheap labor. You know, you can't pay for quality. I'll work on it. Anyway, so there you go. And this is what we do as well. The moment I point the camera at him, even if I don't point the camera at him, you know, this is somewhere around the tripod while I'm filming. I've got this all the time. So I thought, well, exactly, nothing wrong with that. Oh, Debbie, thank you. I appreciate that. So anyway, I just thought for a little orchid palette cleanser. Right. And I wanted to show you my Phalaenopsis pulchra because she's going bonkers. There we go. With roots. Phalaenopsis pulchra is not shy on the root front. I mean, you tell me. Maybe you have a pulchra, maybe you don't. Maybe yours also grows roots abundantly. Maybe it grows good roots compared to other orchid species that we know. I know, right? I'm telling you, I'll fix it for next time. He's going to get a talking to later. So if you're watching on replay and you've got a pulchra, yes, they are more abundant root growers than any other species Phalaenopsis that I've ever had. But this one's also been getting misted with the TNC mycohydro. Not today, not while it's hot, because I don't want to stain my Phalaenopsis the way I did. Well, you just went out the picture. But this is insane. And I'm fighting to see, because for me, it was really dark when I was doing this footage. I'm fine. I would like to know. You see here, I put the TNC mycohydro right here. and it burnt the velamen, and I think I got the timing wrong, the doses wrong, not enough airflow, not enough, I don't know, maybe the concentration was a bit too high at the time. But I've taken away that product during the warmer weeks, because I don't want it to repeat. But the insanity of the root growth here, it's all over the place. And look who's coming up through the top. I had to cut a little hole. We are about to get a keiki coming out of up there. So I've got the keiki potted up in lava rock, growing a keiki on the spike I never took off. I got 2 spikes here from Mr. Birdie. Mr. Birdie, you saw earlier that everybody is, including me, adorable. Yeah, well, Mr. and Mrs. Birdie used my 2 spikes as perches. I mentioned that some other time. But we've got branching coming, but I think it's a keiki. So, and now she is growing bolt upright. The light is coming here from the right, the major light source. But another keiki up here. The root growth on this orchid is just mind-blowing. I absolutely love it, but of course, it's easy while she's hanging up. I'm not touching her. How we're going to cope with this during the winter? Well, we'll cross that bridge when it's time to get there. Let's not think about it right now. Perfect timing. I was thinking about to mount a rescue orchid, but being a newbie, not much clue about it. Well, please do not mount your rescue orchid upside down. If you have a Phalaenopsis, Claudia Maria, excuse me, please don't mount her upside down. You can see I mounted mine upside down. They will always grow up, find their way to the main source of light. Let's say your light is coming from the left. Everything on a monopodial orchid will move to the left. If your orchid, vice versa to the right. Right now she's going bolt upright. And I did a video debunking the mounting of Phalaenopsis orchids when everybody was saying mount them upside down because of nature and the crown and the water washes away from the stem along the apex of the leaves, etc., etc., blah de blah. Well, guess what? Hapana. This is proof in the pudding. Unless your main light source comes from directly below, your orchid will correct herself and grow upright, which expends a tremendous amount of energy. So save your orchid the trouble. Mount her with the crown going up, and then she will have less to work on to get herself positioned in order to get to the maximum light. I hope that makes sense. Oh, yay! There we go. Good stuff. Happy to hear that. Large amounts. I was going with 150 parts per million. I didn't think that was large amounts. I believe it was wrong timing. Maybe too late in the day. Maybe it was in the sprayer when I went around for a second time and it was already like 1 or 2 p.m. where it's very warm, more wind, evaporation happened faster. All of those factors could have been an issue because I'm not seeing any brown velamen elsewhere where I've been using it, with exception, and this is the update I'm going to do with my totem pole, my Vanda totem pole, because there's the best update I can show you when it comes to bare root orchids, like, for example, this one. I have never seen my totem pole do what it's been doing this past season. And I've got so much footage about orchid root tips because it's amazing to be back there looking at them back in the day, when now some of them have stopped growing because we're in a different phase of their growth. But the ruby redness sparkling in the sunshine with water droplets on them, it's just gorgeous. And some of them also have a similar kind of look about them, but that could also be the influence of the direct sun hitting them. So it's a timing thing. I don't think it's the concentration, but this one, I know it was not because of sun, because this orchid is not exposed to sun, direct sun ever, except maybe late afternoon winter sun, if it's warm enough on the terracotta where she lives while during the winter months. So this is where my thoughts are going about the mycohydra. That's why I stopped. You can see little symptoms here as well. I'm just thinking it wasn't the right time of day. Hey, the verdant turf, goodness me, good morning, sir, from the Philippines. I'll have to find an article on the fallacy of overhead watering and crown rot. I speak from observations and conditions, circumstances, time of day. Now, because I have a root up here in the hob filter material that I would like to hydrate, I may not need to do any more of that in the future. Of course, some of the mist goes right bang smack into the crown. I don't care if it's down here. That's why I'm pretty radical with my mister down here. So far, no problems, but of course I can't do that during the winter. So little Keiki has to mature. I haven't pulled back this area just yet because the leaf isn't long enough, but yeah, this is going to be one big mount. My little Dr. Zhivago hat. You see the eyes? Phalaenopsis. If I ever were to enter, excuse me, this orchid into a competition, I'm telling you, this would be Phalaenopsis pulchra Dr. Zhivago. Having said that, of course, she would need to win an award so that I could name her, but you know what I mean. But now it's being overrun. She's getting poked in the eye by root tips. Anyway, it's good to see you, Verdant Turf. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. But let's move on because I am super proud of my Hawaiiara lava burst. Best spike ever. Absolutely ever. I love this. And yes, being the second time I'm misting her, loving the fatness of the roots. It's coming out so much better. There's so much more oomph to this orchid now. This picture, you know, it was so dark when I took it. Here I raised the exposure because I thought nobody's going to see anything. But you can see that at least I'm trying to keep, hello, let's go back. I'm trying to keep the leaves safe just by misting a lot. And I'm losing the battle with my twinkle. The battle of keeping the leaf tips green. Yeah, you see, very high exposure. I know, but we get to see what I wanted to point out. You see this yellowing starting right here. Yeah, this is the new growth. Here's the lower leaf, which is also fading into nothingness. But you can, oh no, I don't want that. I don't mind the older leaves doing it. I mean, they've been doing it because she was a struggling orchid, and I got 3 new growths out of her this season, though, so that's great. She's bounced back superbly, and check out these roots. I mean, so impressed with the roots, I took more pictures. Are we moving? Yeah, check this out. I mean, for real, for real. Huh? Look at that. Oh, there's nothing more satisfying, I think. Oh, I think it's just, oof. I love orchid roots so much. Excuse me. There's more coming because I'm so impressed. Hello. I was so impressed with my, was that it? Did I only add one? Anyway, we saw the twinkle roots. It's been good. Fran, have a wonderful evening. Rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate that so much. I'll see you around the tubes, hopefully, maybe. You enjoy yourself, okay? I appreciate it. And Mr. Kyle has to go. Okay. I appreciate you dropping in. Thank you so very much. If you've already left, I'm sorry. I'm late to the party. I wasn't paying attention. I was oogling and googling and oogling at the roots. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate this. Okay. Brassavola perenniae, we figured these out now. Yay. Just wanted to point out here, I still have the root tips, which I'm concerned about, but while we've got them to enjoy, I took another picture, and I just wanted to correct something, but sort of half a correction. I said that the Brassavola roots aren't happy branching roots. Well, they're not. But I do believe I used the word don't branch. Excuse me a moment, please. The frog has been evicted. Anyway, I have a branch here, a single one, just one. So I shall eliminate the word saying they don't branch. I shall say they very rarely branch. But we got ourselves a branch, so I'm happy about that. And this fall, I'm going to be able to eliminate all the dead roots here because we have a lifespan, get rid of those. And then I'm going to start the project of dismantling and removing what I can of the hop filter material, because I said I would do that bit by bit. Where I can, move it away, get rid of it, and see what we've got underneath. And if I need to, then I'll just glue some hop filter material on. But I am looking already at being able to eliminate quite a bit of the, come here, of the inorganic mount section, without, of course, having the orchid fall off. So it's connected here, it's connected here. Anyway, I was so tempted to do that the other day, and I thought, come on, what are you doing just because you're in the mood? This is the wrong time of year to be doing this. Kevin Sun says, oh, my Brussels cuculata is flower. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is amazing. What an amazing orchid to have. Ooh, she is beautiful. Congratulations. More cartwheels around the patio. You cannot grow lava burst. You keep killing her even when you buy one. Okay. You're going to have to give me a little bit more if you want to try again. What are you growing? Your media? What is your media? What is your humidity? And well, mine, I almost lost mine in leca and semi-hydro. So the fact that she bounced back the way she did is only because she was on a mount, in my opinion. And it doesn't have to be the mount that I use. It can be any bark. So let me know a little bit more, Sarah, okay? Because there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to grow a lava burst if I can bring a very, very weak one through. Alrighty, let's move on. We have another 12 minutes to go. If you would like, we have 12 more minutes. We've still got some blooming alley to look at. Let's see. We're still rolling. I got a close-up of the branching root. The rare branching root. Oh, yes. Very exposed, but this was a must. I had to. So this is my Cattleya cernua. We'll see her again a little bit later. Now, this looks really scary because of the exposure, but I wanted to show you the roots. I wanted to show you the roots because look, you can see how poorly she is with her pseudobulbs out of the pot, back on a mount, because the potting up didn't work. I didn't manage to get that right, and I wasn't going to continue experimenting with the semi-hydro setup. But this is awesome. This is not the only set of roots that she has that are now coming onto the mount. She's got more, but these are the only ones that I could actually put a camera to without you making, some mental visual gymnastics for me to show you more roots. But anyway, so this one, yeah, she was dripping wet after I took this picture. The image that was super exposed is down here. The roots are attaching. The main focus of this, yes, once a day she gets misted entirely. This time of year only, everything I show you, what I do is only because it is end of July, which is the most stressful, warmest, driest climate time for my orchids. So this does not happen in October, November, December. January, February, March, no, okay? These are based on time of year. But I've been really focusing on only watering the mount before she got into active root growth and keeping the orchid nice, from not suffering too much by losing the moisture through her leaves. So keeping the mount nice and humid. It's working. Eventually, we should have an aftershot that some of these pseudobulbs will have recovered. And since we put her on the mount, this leaf right here is starting to turn yellow, but it has stopped. We'll lose it, but it's okay. There has not been any more leaf loss in this area, which had me concerned. So yay for cernua. All righty. Okay, let me check here. My lava burst did the same thing. It flowered and kicked the bucket. All right. Try what, there you go. Give it a go mounted. Because I think with my semi-hydro going mental in 2018 when I got mine, I just got the leca ratio wrong, which I did get wrong for many fine-rooted orchids. And I didn't realize how the evaporative cooling would become a big, big issue when not using heat mats, you know, during the winter for some orchids. But anyway, give her a go. I was super surprised. Very happy to. Okay, Blooming Alley top shelf. I'm just giving a little bit of a look-see around. And middle shelf, not really that much blooming-wise going on, but just give you an orientation because sometimes people come and they don't know when I talk about this, that, and the other. And then, of course, the lower shelf. And I've got some examples of, you know, representation of my Rapiculus Lalias, which are at the far end in the cul-de-sac. So you see then more things on the right. I have some images, some exciting news happening with those. And then we just go up and up and up to where we then see eventually Dendrobium Row. And you will see what is happening with my Dendrobium Victoria Regina since that warm day. Even though I kept her hydrated, I kept the moss green and all of that, you will see, you can see how the leaves, I think I took a picture. Let's just see that this footage goes. Low humidity. Let me just make sure that we get to the next image. I'll address your comment right now, Sarah. Okay, we can stop her here. You have low humidity, very low. I should have remembered that, Sarah. I'm sorry. Of course, you live in Greece. Same here. So we have the same condition. You grow in the mix of moss and small bark and some perlite. That should be fine. That should be fine. Then it must be a watering, maybe a watering issue. You've said you've tried several times. It can't be a weak orchid then. If you want to try again, Sarah, why give it a go. Try mounting her. She has fine roots. She's not that demanding on a mount, not like, let's say, a big orchid with a lot of root system, like, for example, the Phalaenopsis I just showed you. That's demanding, and the Brassivolas are demanding as well because they dry out so quickly in a very dry climate, and they are high humidity orchids. A lava burst isn't that demanding when it comes to necessarily being watered on a mount. I don't know if that's an option for you. Something maybe you might want to try. It's just that the blooms last for an age. 3 months, easy 3 months. So it's kind of worth giving it another go, but I don't want to impose on, you know, when I'm frustrated with something and then someone says to me, you know, even here, my daughter, oh, Mom, and I'm like, no, don't tell me, don't talk to me, don't change my mind, no, this is hard enough, you know. I don't want to be that person, Sarah, but maybe the suggestion helped. Anyway, Dendrobium Row, we can see the Bensonia looking gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But since I saw my Victoria Regina doing this, and I mean, I've lost quite a few leaves. Thankfully, this cane is finished growing. So, phew, I don't mind bare canes as long as they're healthy. But, you know, considering like maybe 5-6 weeks ago, I was like, boom, check out my Victoria Regina in a video. Yeah, this is what a difference, you know. This was 10 days after that one really hot day, and the Victoria struggled. But it is not all lost, because if we venture a little bit more into her nether regions, going nuts much. This cane is doing some real funky Medina thing here, doing yoga, but that's okay. It's not kinked, it's not broken. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, probably 4. There's another one. 5 new growths at the base. Excite. 2 more branches. I cannot tell you how happy I am. We have got ourselves a monster. Love it. So Never mind that the leaves have suffered a little bit. Never mind that she's defoliating out of stress. I love this so much. And Orchid Ninja Bruce, son, thank you so much for coming in, saying hi. I so appreciate it. Thank you. Have yourself a beautiful rest of your day. Hand hearts and all that fun stuff. And I look forward to seeing you during the week as well. And Sarah, I know. Okay. We need to talk a little bit more then about more details. If you would like to send me an email and write a little bit more, what you do, la-di-da, only if you want to. Just let me know a little bit more about your lava burst experience and what you saw happen to your lava burst for it to decline and then go away. Give me what you can, send me an email, let me know. Maybe we can brainstorm and troubleshoot together. It's an offer, it's there for you, okay? I don't even want to ask where Bruce's son is going. Anyway, this, now I didn't take the orchid down. Joe, I am sorry. Awkward. Thank you for being so gracious and understanding. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to make a real mental note of that, Sarah. Joe, okay. Whew. Awkward. This is where I go. Bright red. Sorry. Calling. Sorry about that. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for being gracious and patient. Moving on quickly to my Dendrobium Victoria Regina. While I slink away and change the subject very quickly. This is the Keikis from 2019 or 2020 when we put her on the mount. And these are the blooms. They are the pale ones with, not the vibrant, rich purple ones. And no, I did not take the orchid down to get these blooms, etc. I'm just curious what this cane would bloom like. Now we know. I don't need to risk moving the orchid, doing something with everything that's going on growth-wise during, in Dendrobium row. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Anyway, we now know that whatever grows from this keiki at the base in the future, they are the pale ones. So it's great to see that in 4 years, a keiki of a Dendrobium Victoria Regina can bloom. And my Dendrobium unicum is chucking out roots like there's no tomorrow. Probably I can also eliminate more of the mount here and then just drive a screw or something through the middle. But very pleased to see that this is doing so well. Just thought I would add that. Plus I could do with this image probably in about 8 months. Polyanthum, doing fabulously. What I also wanted to mention that some of the moss is now migrating to other mounts that have the inorganic, like the hop filter material. And it's starting to move. So I'm getting mounts now starting that before didn't show any moss growing. That's very exciting. I'm thrilled about that. But this is where you can see things are starting to happen. The polyanthum is doing great. And what is you doing here? We're gonna have a bloom for no reason. I love this orchid. This orchid has a party trick. It sheds its canes and you think it's rotting, but it's not. I've come to understand that this is how the orchid propagates itself. The canes will dry out at the base and it looks like it's rotting out, and then eventually, probably out in nature, when the wind blows, they just poof, fall somewhere, grow keikis, and that's how it propagates itself. So I'm thrilled about this orchid. Very, very thrilled. Licorice fragrance. Absolutely digging it. Alrighty, can we move on? Are we moving on? Yes? Okay, I'm sorry, I went back because of what Kevin's son said. I love this one. And it's not, and it doesn't interfere, it just flops. Dendrobium exile has 3 new growths coming. One, I know it's difficult to see, but there's the straggler new growth is here. This is another one right here going all the way up there, but you can see the end of the growth. So and then one right here. Very excited about this one. You see, this mount hasn't had any moss growing yet, but with the other ones growing the moss, I am looking forward to it. And can we just stop here right now? Can we? Do you see what I see? I mean, for real. This is my Panarica prismatocarpa. This one, together with my Coelogyne parkinsoniana, because she dangles over the corner right here, it's getting a bit crowded. Look at these 3 spikes. This is one orchid about to bloom with 3 spikes. I think I'm going to count 100 blooms in total. And she's growing 4 new growths already. I'm scared. This is insane. She is pushing out, and at this moment also starting 4 new growths. Not just starting, they're already starting to show a little bit more. Unfortunately, the leaves are going to start looking a little bit stressed because of the heat, but do I care at this point in time? The only thing I care about is, where are we going with this orchid? What am I going to do? I mean, she's got plenty of room in her pot, but I thought we were going to have several years, several being 3 to 4. We're getting to my hibiki. I will show you, Joe. I don't have many pictures of the hibiki, but I'll show her to you because I do want to make a separate video about dendrobiums and hibiki and just talk a little bit more in detail. But I took a picture just, because. Anyway, the insanity is going to manifest itself. And because spikes were, they will eventually correct themselves and go upright like spires. But this one was dangerously leaning into my parkinsoniana, and everything was getting a little bit precarious in that corner. Yeah, I actually put a support here, tied it around the next pseudopole, because I thought, if I snap a spike once they've all opened, when I move her after filming, great. That's okay. Honestly, when I say great, of course, there's a little bit of cynicism in that, but that once I filmed her, but not while they are developing. This is madness. Anyway, moving on swiftly from this beast of an orchid, where are we going next? Or is something else I wanted to show you? Plenty more. Oh yeah, Polyanthum. Bulbophyllum plumatum also bloomed again. This is her 3rd blooming in as many months. And that's where she lives, right at the end, tucked in between the 2. The only reason I showed 1 spike and the other image was because the 2nd spike, this one here, had a... Madre mia, please. I know, I'm talking too much. You want to hurry it up as well. Anyway, so this one had already frazzled out. This one still looks pretty. I can't get any stinky fragrance from her, but I figured I'll show you what I have. If you watch my shorts videos, one day you will see this image in a shorts video. So this one, I just want to go and say, go back. This one I got from Matt by Nature. So if Matt by Nature ever sees this, thank you very much for the orchid. And she's doing, do you mind? She's doing great. Loving her setup, semi-hydro with lava rock. All right, so we'll just see how long this takes us. I'm very pleased to be able to report back to people their orchids are doing great. The alternative is always so sad. This reminds me of beef jerky strips. Makes me hungry. Laelia rubescens, we're getting to the part where I just want to show you some ongoings that are making me very happy. Laelia rubescens, the Wishlist orchid from many years ago, finally in a pot, finally on the patio. This is her new growth. And hey, the roots continued. The branching roots didn't fail. And we've got roots growing in the pot, and I've been watching and enjoying the progress of this one down here. It is finally diving downwards, and just love this. Very happy to be able to show you that. Laelia Millery, once upon a time, molto pobre, very sad orchid came to the collection. And well, look at this. Nice. Nice, nice. Me likey, me likey. So we'll continue on with the representation, the representatives of the Rapiculus lalius, because tucked behind the Millery is my Manticere. Ta-da! Beautiful new growth, first time bloomer for us this year. And then we're going to move on to the next one. Come on, come on, come on. That blooming shiny eye. It took her long enough. Yikes, right here. I had a single bulb that came off when I potted this piece up, the main piece. The single bulb has been progressing faster when it comes to growth, not size of growths, but faster by producing new growths from a single tiny bulb of a Rapiculus lalia than the bigger piece. So that's why I'm saying finally, because the single little piece already has a mature new growth, while this one only just started. It's amazing. The little piece from a single bulb. I'll have to show that someday. Note to self. And then I've got the Coelogyne next to it, which I should, there we go. This is my Coelogyne OG, finally pulling through. Absolutely. Oh, this was our first new growth last year where that she grew this first growth in 3 years of being in my possession. Otherwise, I had back bulbs failing. These were the last structures. And then she came with a new growth, and I just about fainted with joy. And now we've got the next one coming. But she is not anywhere close to the Coelogyne that Anonymous gave me, because that growth is just insanity. Excuse the dusty leaves. It is what it is on the patio at the moment. Unless we're filming orchids, as in showcasing them or doing the pest treatment, etc., they get dusty. It also protects them from the sun. That is my excuse. I stick by that. Anyway, so this is just, this is also a Coelogyne, but clearly one that came in my collection that was super healthy and just is bonkers. But I have two, and I don't care if I have two. I love the blooms of this so, so much. And these blooms, they love the camera. And from Fernanda Nacimiento Orchids and Succulents, from the top shelf of the Blooming Alley, I pulled down Wilhelmina She-Lob Marie L, because we've got 5 spikes on her. And they're starting to open. And this orchid is wonderful. The only thing I don't like is that the blooms take forever to open, so that by the time the other buds open at the top, the lower ones are already fading. At least that's what happens in my climate. Most annoying, because she is gorgeous. And of course, one of her party tricks is a bloom always has to be upside down. Let's go back. Both, no matter if I don't move the orchid. I moved her today to film her upside down. The light is coming from where this bloom there is facing. This one upside down. And the same thing is happening on this. It's bizarre. Anyway, she's doing great. Yes, again, yellowing leaves. It's normal in my climate. This makes me super happy. We are going to have Procativola Golden Peacock back in bloom very, very soon. If nothing blasts, if we don't get any hot, dry wind, there's about 8 buds on this. It is making me so happy. It's been a while since we've seen her gorgeous orange blooms, and lots of new growths at the base. And roots makes me excited. Boy, do I have to be on the lookout for scale with this one, though, constantly. Moving on to Laelia Giuliani. This is the cutest little spike ever. Look at this, and I will stop it right here. 4 blooms. I love it. Before, she was always doing 2 blooms. 4 blooms. They're so cute. I love them so much. And I just love the way the spike presents itself. Oh my goodness. It's like little fairy umbrellas. Like, oh, you could make little, like a fairy garden underneath them. It's just darling. I love that so much. Oh, anyway, sorry. When it comes to these Rapiculus lalias, I just go, just a little bit gaga. Oh, and then of course this. Ha! You were saying, looks like Marfitch Howard's dream. Not dream. Bealara. Bealara. Huh, Bealara is now Aliceara. They're not fragrant, no. They're not. I'm sorry that I'm only coming to your comments now. But no, they are not for me anyway. So there's been quite the rigmarole with that orchid Wilhelmara. It came to me as Bretonia. She looked Tolkien, which it wasn't. Michael McCarthy made a suggestion and it was very, very close. And then Fernandem did some research going a little bit further deep dive, and then she found the actual name with the blooms in orchid roots. So I'm just going with what I'm being told. Anyway, I want to show you Cattleya bicolor. Look at that. Oh, we need to repot her like 3 days ago, 4 days ago. But isn't this just the umbrella of roots? I love it. I have to repot her just because the pot is broken. So I think this is just going to be an up pot. And that is that insane new growth we saw in another video. But did you see what's popping out from underneath the sheath there? Here comes the next one. Bring it on. Bring it on. Oh yeah, and ignore the dried root tip over here. I was about to put my hand on the picture. We're focusing on this gorgeousness right there, okay? Moving on. Something else I wanted to show you from a repot that we did recently is my Epicatante Gold Coast, where we looked at the roots, they weren't happy, etc. Most of them were happy, and then there were many that looked like they didn't appreciate certain climatic conditions. But Hakuna Matata. You see, it means no worries because we've got new roots coming, and nobody stalled, nobody shriveled. Every new growth that we had is still growing actively, and now we're getting new roots in the pot. We are good to grow. I love it. Alrighty, moving on. There was a request for a dendrobium hippie pick, and here it is. All right. Hello. Yes, sir. Pause. She is just beautiful. But we're going to do a video and pop them off. She is gorgeous, though. A moment of silence of admiration. And the second piece is in the back, of course. Yes, I know, but I wasn't going to shift. The more I gawk at them and the more I hate about what I am about to do. But anyway, moving on swiftly. Moving on. Got places to go, orchids to see. When we've got about 7 minutes left. Oh, yes, when talking about sun damage. When you think you've just nailed it, you got it right, then you go and you really do nail it. This is my Cattleya tigrina, where we did this fantastic repot. Everything was wonderful and the roots were going nicely. Everything is going beautifully. She was lush and green. I had finally lost the seedling leaf that I had sunburned early days. And what do we go and do? What do we really? Really, Nina? Yeah. So she's always been in the blooming alley, but you see the angle of the sun must have been in such a way. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. The curtain caught a corner and whatever. Madre mia, I'm so mad. 2 years ago, here on to the left, you can see the Cattleya dowiana. 2 years ago, I hadn't had scorched my orchids for, anyway, even I can't remember. I hadn't scorched my orchids. They had blemishes, leaf things, all these things going on that I show you in videos, with the leaf tips going yellow, blah, blah, any issue, scale, pitting, blah. My Cattleya dowiana was one of the most pristine looking orchids in the entire collection. One day, we had 102, 103. Similar to one of those heat blasts that just happened the other day. Anyway, and the same thing happened. That's why it reminds me. The same thing happened. She's the only one that got hit. The only one. Not the disaster you saw that has happened recently. My beautiful Cattleya dowiana got burnt on 2 leaves. Oh, I was so bad at myself. The one orchid that was clean throughout. Anyway, she's dropped that leaf by now. I just have one little leaf with a burn, but you know what? The really cooked orchids, Debbie, I still haven't groomed them. It's still too early to groom anything away. I'm waiting for things to dry out and show me what the status quo is. So they look exactly the same as what we saw in the video. Yours died in 5 days? Oh, I'm sorry. We need to talk, Joe. We need to talk. There's no we have very similar growing conditions. If I can help you, I want to be able to help you. But call me. No, just kidding. Email me. Sorry. Anyway, excuse me. Moving on swiftly to my Cattleya maxima, which we haven't seen for a long time. Well, Cattleya maxima is a unifoliate. What are we doing with a bifoliate growth? Excuse-moi. Don't care. Just thought I'd point that out. That's a first-timer bifoliate growth for me. Beautiful sheath, though. And the same growth in the back is a unifoliate. I mean, whatever. You do you, boo. Just live and bloom. That is all I ask of you. Right. We're slowly coming to the end, but I don't know what else. Oh, yes, we've got to go to the deep south. If you can join me there, that would be lovely. And just one moment, if you don't mind, I'm going to mute here because Mr. Frog seems to think he can reside in my throat, and he can't. He has been evicted. Okay, moving on to the deep south. I have some news. Why are you not giving me... Oh, never mind. I'm going back to where I can see you all. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm going to show you my Kimberlianum. I took a picture of some... Oh, forget that. I'm going to show you my Jamelia arborescens. Alrighty. Yeah, 2 sheaths on Cattleya maxima. It'd be great to see her in bloom. And she didn't burn. Whew. Oh my goodness. Not that I want any of my orchids to burn, but I would have been even more mad at myself if she had burnt. So my Jamelia arborescens, yes, I have been working with this orchid since she was a teeny tiny little fan. It's so cute. And I shall be doing a spotlight video on her. Do not be alarmed about the brown spot up here. That was me and my garlic alcohol. I should have been more careful. I saw a mealybug and I went a little bit bonkers. But the crown is fine. The growing point is fine. It's just annoying. Again, no sunburn. So that was me. But what I wanted to show you here is a cute little last bloom, because if I got it right, even if I didn't get it right, trust me, all the little fans down here that are somewhat larger are all first-time bloomers. Applause, applause, applause. So I wonder if I got in time to document all that, because these blooms don't last very long and I'm rather busy at the moment, so I don't know, but they are all first-time bloomers. She looks absolutely darling. So she's just getting better and better and better and is now also in active root growth. I am so excited. Maybe I need to slow down on the fertilizer because that is too far of a distance. I don't like it. Yeah, we're going to give her less. That's too much. That means, of course, look, if this fertilizer quantity were the same as down here, you can see the stem here with all the leaf joints nicely spaced apart like that, I wouldn't worry about it. Now, I've been very, very diligent with my calcium nitrate this season. So as long as this is a strong development here, that's fine. I don't want anything like this bolting if it's weak. So that's why I'm looking at the spacing here compared to down here. So anyway, moving on. We were talking about Kimmy and then got interrupted by Caspar. Alrighty, so here we have Holcoglossum kimberlianum, my Non-bloomer. I didn't take a picture of the whole orchid. She's huge for the fact that she's never bloomed for me. But anyway, what I wanted to show here is that I've lost a lead. Very difficult to photograph. And I was in a position, I have a branch coming. I was wondering, you know, I'm always looking for hopefully a spike, maybe 1 year. I don't know. She came to me as a single twig and has now morphed into this monstrosity that I won't probably be taking out of the deep south because her roots have grown into the hedge. But I lost this lead right here, but this orchid is so diligent that something is already happening underneath and another new growth is growing. But there's another branch coming somewhere else, and I just think it's another lead, another new growth, as opposed to a spike. But I wanted to show you that this was not from heat. And I can't tell you why. And you can see that there was a root trying, and it was a long, healthy lead, and all of a sudden it just said, nah, not having it. You can see this is sunburn right here, but this decline happened over months. So yeah, at least I got this to focus. Everything else was out of focus, and I had to get up. I was in a lot of pain when I was trying to take those pictures. Probably that's why they're out of focus, because I'm shaking. It was so painful. Anyway, quick update. Oh yeah, another biology experiment. Because of the way these roots grow, I cannot hydrate my Ascocentrum ampullaceae anymore. So I made a little bit of a soda bottle tube thing contraption just to get some roots into water. When I miss these roots, they all hydrate. You can see a growing point over there. And at least I've got 2 roots that are constantly in water, because I don't know how else I can keep this orchid hydrated without, in actual fact, risking stem rot at some point in time, because I can't always just miss the stem. And she's growing a branch, not just a keiki at the base, but now she's branching at the base with another new growth. So I will probably, once these roots come out during the winter, I will probably lose them. But in the back, did I manage to get a picture of that? So focus on that. A ver. In the back, there's another new root starting. So we're going to be compensated. Yeah, right there. We're going to be compensated with some more roots. The bigger they grow, it's going to get harder and harder for me to be able to hydrate them. But she's doing well. And this is Marananthera citrina, same thing. You can see roots growing into the hedge. These haven't branched or progressed. But what I want to show you is the fact I'm so happy. I've got 2 root tips that are going straight into the pot. Oh, I keep moving leca away, and I will fill around with leca once it's long enough. Oh, this makes me happy, because same scenario. We've got issues with hydration there. And then I've got some images of my crestwood tomorrow star, a root doing nonsense over here. Here's the start of the root, and it's growing down into there. Please, why? I'm going to lose that leaf. Look, if I lose the root, it's fine, but what, you know, it's going to pierce through the leaf or do something, then I'm going to lose another leaf. This orchid is starting to look a little bit bare, but yeah, this is what orchids do. I mean, hang on a second. Look at the cut right here, the way that leaf snaps. And whatever the root tip is going to do, wherever it wants to come out, if it doesn't fail because it's stuck in there, it could be I'm losing 2 leaves. We shall see. But of course, my kryptonite, I cannot not do a patio tour without showing you root tips. Love these root tips so much. And they're coming out even on parts of a root. Let's see, there's a nubbin right here, which I tried to focus in on. It didn't work. But there is another one where the end of the root had died back, but it is branching right there. And this makes me so happy. Oh, these emerald things coming through the velamen. I mean, get a load of this. How can you not? That's just, for me, just a little bit of root magic here. I wanted to say another word, but that's not YouTube friendly. I'm really pleased about the roots going into the pot. These are also new branches. I think I took a picture of that as well. I wonder if I added it. Boom, right there. Very pleased to see these new branches going into the pot. And yes, there's a lot of salt buildup, but as long as they don't burn, I'm not even going to touch it. Oh, love this. All right. Oh, I didn't stop it, but I wanted to just quickly give you an update on this one. This is my OG Vanda. All right. I mean, you know, this one was the first Vanda ever to land on the patio. She's the last one standing, with the exception of my totem pole. She's doing great. You guys, I cannot tell you how relieved I am to still have her. She probably won't bloom for us until next year. She is busy growing roots in the pot, and they are very, very slow growing roots, as you can see with all the stubs and things. The minute they come out, they start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. But yes, she's lost some bottom leaves. I don't care. Look at what's going on up here. It is continuing to look beautiful from when we put her into her proper semi-hydroponic pot. So there's no damage. She's doing fabulously. I'm so happy to see that. Yeah, these roots are like the Kraken coming out and insane. I'm telling you. And then we're going to have some Prostechia radiata blooms, and Cateva Orchid is going to be very, very happy, hopefully, to see this, the orchid that she gifted me, and that it's doing great. It's also got 2 new growths coming out the back. And this one will also end up being in beast mode eventually. The roots are scary when I take them out. I want to see what they've done during the 6-7 months they've been in the hedge. And then they freak me out all winter. Because I walked into one of the main stem roots. I bumped it and I snapped it. Thankfully, it's okay. It's branching with 2 new I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, that's what you're going to do to me. This is how I bounce back. I love the roots, though. Those root tips are just to die for, in my opinion. So we're going to get more blooms there. This is my Vanda No ID that I just thought I would show you once again, because at this time of day, we're still going around misting, peeps. I have been misting all this time while I've been talking to you. Not really, but that's the name of the game. So this is now late morning, early afternoon, late morning, 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m. Again, only plain our water this time of day, but all around and all around. I love this orchid so much. She smells of honeysuckle. She is adorable, and she has got spikes coming out all over the place. I thought I was only going to get these 2 because she's busy working on more fans. The root growth of this orchid is insane. Another TNC microhydro candidate. I have never seen so much branching on those roots there. So, and then this is the same thing. These are all microhydro candidates. Everything that is in baskets, bare root. Haven't seen much difference with my Vanda Costylus Lusneri Blue, except we have a branching root tip here, and there's more tucked away. But again, it's got Rhincostylus in its parentage. It just does, it starts, stops with the root growth. And give me Rhincostylus gigantea, I've got root growth issues with my dry climate. So as long as we get some branching, I can't put these into semi-hydro. I have one piece of the blue in semi-hydroponics, but the ones that grow up in the air, they also stop. Great root growth as well this year with my Lusneri, the classic one, the proper one. But it is funny that these 2 are starting, and the ones down in the basket here that should be progressing, they've stopped. Whatever, just grow roots, The No ID, I have been told, is Vanda Peaches. I still am not convinced. And I have been given a new ID, Cherry Blossom. But it looks to me like the leaves of the cherry blossom are much more Ascocentrum-like as opposed to Vanda falcata, Vanda-like. It's close, though. With the color of the blooms, it's close. But I am not convinced it's the peaches because, goodness me, the vigor of that orchid is just beyond insane. And Vanda Peaches I have not seen to be such a multiple, consistently multiple fan grower as with the one I have. Now, I could be completely wrong, But unless I'm certain, there is no way I'm going to say Vanda Peaches, and then people go and get a Vanda Peaches, and they may only ever get 1 or 2 fans growing like a new stylist would back here. You know, all the fans that are in the basket, apart from the main one, these are all new fans that grew and branched in my care. I got my Vanda Peaches already with all like these fans, these bigger ones. She came with them. If this is Vanda Peaches, then I don't know what are the others doing that, you know, I'm, if I'm wrong, fine. But if somebody goes and buys a Vanda Peach and it doesn't perform the way you see on the patio, then I'm sorry, I'm not convinced. So I prefer to stay very, very cautious with the ID on that one. Anyway, we are on the west side. And then this is my totem pole after the Scorchio. I still got the blooms. The first spike of my fan, my third fan of the Chow Praia. So I've got 3 fans now that are blooming size. And spoiler alert, I don't show it in this video. I've got a 4th fan growing on the Chow Praia. And Papilionanthe Teres variety Andersonii is going mental as well. I have all the footage for the video. I just have to put it together, and I don't have the time. I need to repot. I have to repot. I love these 2 together so much. I did clear a little bit away of the vine just because it was impeding on the visual. Just cut a little bit away, but not too much, because I don't want to burn the new foliage that has grown behind the vine. So I'm very mindful of that. It is a giraffe. I have 1 more minute of footage left, and that's probably me just in the evening reversing everything that we did before, as in putting the curtain back on the east side patio, because it's night for the orchids. Because when I do get up in the morning, the first thing I do is pups, animals, zoo, feathered, 4-legged, coffee. And sometimes the sun can already be quite strong the moment it hits that side. So they just go undercover, and it increases the humidity under that curtain as well. And Monsieur, I'm cheating here because this is an early morning pic. You can see the sun down here. This was not taken this afternoon, this picture, but anyway, this is what he looks like when he goes to bed as well. And that, my wonderful orchid aficionados, is pretty much a patio tour of sorts, which I hope that you enjoyed the information. I hope that there was something there that thrilled you, excited you, made you happy, made you think, you're doing it wrong. Whatever it is, either way, I just hope that you enjoyed this live stream. I have to say, after everything that I went through since Saturday last week, I was looking so forward to this stream. I cannot tell you just how much I was looking forward to this stream. I've been through the ringer. I don't have wallpaper, but we wouldn't have wallpaper if I had any. So I hope that you had a fraction of a good time as I did, sitting here talking to you, showing you around, and, well, giving you a little bit of an update and interacting together. Thank you, Kevin's son. I so appreciate that. I'm not going to go into details. I'm not feeling a lot better, no, but I took a painkiller because I was not going to sit here trying to rush something that I was so looking forward to. There's no way I would have been able to sit for 2 hours without having taken the painkiller this afternoon. So there's no way. I'm really struggling. If you want to think of a Swiss Army knife with the blade open in your pocket and you keep sitting down, that, okay? That. But anyway, it was wonderful. I so appreciate you guys. And if I could, I would do hand hearts, but I can't. So use your imagination and then some. I really appreciate everybody's support. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday evening, afternoon, whenever. Thank you if you watch the replay. I look forward to seeing you maybe in the comments. We shall see. It was wonderful to have you. But there's one thing I want to say. Make sure that your weekend remains fun, on the condition, though, that you stay safe. Take care. Bye.